Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to work with some of the products from the Curated bead box for February 2023. First of all, our encouraging word for today is no beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart. And I thought that was fitting because we're using this big old heart. So this is huge. It's 64 millimeters. Don't know that it's something I would wear, but I think it's going to be okay with what we do with it here. So we've got some red beads from the box. We've got these gold beads from the box. And I'm debating on these. I want to add them in sparingly. I don't want to add them in a whole big lot, but sparingly, okay? We've got some of these beads out of the mix. So I had a really random, like I had two of these guys right here. They don't totally match, but they kind of match. And then I had a bunch of these little peanut beads and these little electroplated druzy styles. So I'm using those in the stringing, I think. And then these, I had this big, these are like top drilled. So I'm not sure how they're going to hang on the head pin, but I'm going to try to put them on the head pins. They're really pretty. I hope they'll hang the right way. And then I have some ball head pins. I have some little 5-petal bead caps from my own stash. And I have a lobster and a ring for the lobster to clasp onto. And then I have some jump rings here, okay, in bronze. I'm going bronze with all of it. And then I've got some beads. This is the bead stringing wire that came in the box. And the crimp beads that come in the box, I don't use for actual crimping. I use them when I'm trying to just hold a bead in place on a strand or something like that. But for the actual crimping, I'm going to use these 2x2 crimp tubes. These are Bead-A-Lon, and they're just better quality. They're going to crimp up better. And I always worry with the little cheaper ones that they won't stay crimped. So I like to use the 2x2 crimp tubes from Bead-A-Lon. And we've got the bead stringing wire. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is string up. I don't know. Probably we ought to do this first. So let's do this part first. Now I'm not going to put. I want to use these sparkly beads hanging down in here. I may use one of the red ones just because I kind of want to draw that red down a little bit into the, but that will probably be all if I use one of the red ones down in here. So what I'm going to do on this pendant piece, let me get all this out of the way, is I'm just going to take these ball head pins and put one bead on each ball head pin. No matter which way these turn, they're going to be pretty, but I'm really kind of hoping that the pretty part stays in the front. So let me grab my tools here. I didn't even get my tools out. Ouch. I just poked myself in the thumb with my pliers. Okay. All right, so I'm going to make a wrapped loop. So to do that, I'm going to go 90 degrees on my head pin. Now with a wrapped loop, if you wrap down toward the bead, it tends to help the bead to stay in place a little bit easier. Let me just move some of this off. I'm trying to kind of clear off the screen a little bit so it's not so messy. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I've got this 90 degrees. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to take my wire and come up and over. I grabbed it right in the bend and I'm coming up and over. So here's what I've got, like a question mark, kind of, if I can get it to focus. Come on, camera. It's your one job in life to focus. That's all you got to do. There we go. And then I'm going to rotate these up and come under with it. So here's what I end up with. A loop. Okay, I'm going to grab this loop with my chain nose plier very tightly. Going to wrap with my other chain nose plier. And like I said, I'm going to try to wrap down toward the bead as much as possible so that it will kind of when you wrap down toward the bead with your wire, it's going to kind of make the bead stay in place, hopefully. Now, I've not used these kind of beads before, so I'm not really sure how they operate, but okay. So see, now that I've got this wire wrapped down here, this doesn't spin because it's kind of held in place by that wire. And I'm just going to trim this off. Just like that. And if you have any sticking out, any wire sticking out, just tuck it in there. Okay, so here's what I have. I can straighten up this loop a little bit. I have that. And I'm going to do that with all these beads here. So I have 2 of the electroplated druzy style beads. I have 1 red bead. I have these 2 peanut looking little things. I've never used them. I've seen them before. I guess it can just go right on there like that. Do these nest? They do. Those are kind of cool, like they nest together, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. Probably just put 1 on each thing. And then I have these 2, a couple more of these top drilled style, briolet drilled style ones. So I'm just going to create the same thing I did on here. I'm just going to do a wrapped loop on all of these, okay, and then come on back. So do that and come on back. Okay, so here we have all our really cute little dangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a jump ring out. Not a huge jump ring, but just, actually I'm going to get a few out. Let's see here. So I think what I want to do is I do want a little bit thicker one to hang it on the chain. So I've got this bronze one that's a little bit thicker, or to hang it on the work that we're going to do. But these, I think I'm just going to add them all onto this jump ring. Let's see how that looks if we do that. So I'm just going to put them all on here together. Okay, and I can already tell that I'm probably going to want to stagger them a little. So let's do that. I'm going to put a couple on this one. And then I'm going to put another one on. I thought I was going to put them all on one, but I want them to kind of dangle down. And they're not going to do that if I put them all on one. So let's go ahead and hook this one to the hole here in the pendant. Make sure you've got it closed up really well. And then we'll have this one that's dangling down. So I'm going to hook a couple pieces to it. So let's see, let me find the opening. There it is. And I think I will do this guy and possibly this red one. I kind of want the red one to be toward the middle there. Let's close that up. Okay, so there's what we've got. Now I'm going to get 2 more. I'm going to hook them together. And I'm going to hook one onto the bottom of the second one that I just put on, that I put my red bead and this other bead onto. And then I'm going to grab this one on the bottom here, and I am going to dangle a couple from it. One of these bigger ones. And maybe this little peanut guy. I made his loop really tiny. I just don't want him to go on that jump ring. I may have to dangle him at the bottom from a thinner jump ring because I didn't leave much room in that loop. I don't know. It's on there. Let's see, because I can't seem to get it off now. So let's just leave it. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to take another 2 jump rings, put them together like this. Dangle one from this lower one here. Like that. And then on this very bottom one, I'm going to put these last 2 pieces. I'm trying to put those so that the front shows. And we'll put this guy on here too. And I'm debating whether to add one more red one. I may. Let's see how it looks. It's pretty. It's really pretty. I don't know. We'll just, I think I may add one more red one in there down here on the bottom. And I may even add in, there's a couple of clear ones here. I don't know if I want to add one of these. One of those clear ones would be pretty. Let's do that. So I'm going to make a wrapped loop on this guy. The same as I've been doing on the other ones. Come up and over, rotate up and around. Grab that. Grab this and just wrap down toward the bead. And these are, you know, it's a little hard to get down into the back of these because they're this pointy shape, but if you get most of the way down in there, then they're going to stay pretty much the way that you want them to hang on your head pin. Okay, tuck that in a little. And then I'm not going to add another jump ring because I feel like I have a lot of jump rings going on in here. I'm just going to add him to one of these jump rings. So I'm just kind of picking one that's in the middle here. And I'm going to open this up and I'm just going to add this guy onto it. Yeah, that's pretty. And then I'm going to come down here on the bottom and I'm going to add one more red bead. I just think it needs one more red one in there. So same thing with the wrapped loop. Up and over. And we'll wrap around a few times. Trim that up. Tuck it if it needs it. Straighten our loop up there, and then I think I might add him in right about here. There we go. Now you can add as few or as many, you know, dangles in there as you want. I like the look of that though. That makes me happy right there. Okay, now we're going to string up our necklace. So let's cut some of these beads off. Off the strand. So I'm going to use quite a few of the red ones up here. I'm going to use quite a few of these frosted gold. Okay. I'm going to use these, I think, somehow, at least the peanut ones, because they'll lay right, and these two I know will lay right. I'm not sure how these will do on the stringing, but we'll see. And then I can't really decide with these. I want to use a couple of these, but not a lot of them. So we'll get a few off and just lay them here. Just like this, okay? Now, and I have these bead caps over here and my bead stringing wire. Now this is just the whole piece of bead stringing wire that they sent. I didn't cut it yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my pendant on here. So I'm using this little bit thicker jump ring. Make sure it's closed up good. I'm just going to hang the pendant directly on it, on the bead stringing wire. Okay, so now you kind of want to decide how long you want this to be. This would be cute long or short, honestly. So I'm probably, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a peanut bead on either side. I'm just going to string it up here for a minute and then we'll decide how long I want it to be, because it would be really cute as a tassel, long like that, but it would also be kind of cute short. So I don't know, let's just string and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to do a gold bead on either side. You could even string this asymmetrical if you wanted to, but I think I'm going to do it the same on either side. And then I'm going to take a bead cap, and we're going to do the red beads with the bead cap on them on either side. Okay, so there's one. We'll do bead cap, red bead, bead cap here on the other side. There's what we've got so far. Scoot this up a little. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. I'm trying to keep it kind of subtle at the very beginning here, and then we'll get into some of these more intricate, bigger beads at the top, but I want to keep it kind of just a little plainer at the bottom so it doesn't take too much away from the focal, because I really do like this focal. Okay. It's very big, but I think it's going to turn out pretty, this focal. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do another gold bead on each side. And I may even just string a little and then use some chain. I don't know. I haven't decided how I want to do it. And I think I'm going to pull in a couple of these clear beads over here, just because I did put clear down in there. And they'll look pretty with this. So I'm going to do 2 of these clear beads. These are from the bead mix that was in the box. Okay, so there's a couple of those. You just pull in the rest of them over here. Okay. So yeah, that looks pretty. And then let's go with one of these on either side with bead caps. So let's do a bead cap. The peachy colored bead, marbled bead, and a bead cap. I just don't want to go too crazy with those peachy, the big ones, because I don't know. I want to keep it kind of with the smaller beads, but that I do want a few of those in there. That looks really pretty. That looks good. Okay. Not bad. Now let's see. Let's do, I don't know what these are going to look like on here. Let me see. Let me just put one on and see. I mean, they're pretty. They spin around and stuff, but they are pretty. So let's do one of those on each side. I've only got these 2 left. The other ones I have, they kind of match, but they don't really match. So I don't know. Maybe I've got 2 bigger ones and 1 small one. These 2 bigger ones might be okay together. They're not totally the same size. Maybe these 2 smaller ones are the same size. They're not either. They're all different sizes, so I don't know that I'm going to use those. Okay, so we got those 2 on. Let's do another, well, I don't know if I want to do the peanut bead just yet. Let's do another red bead with no bead caps. Yeah, that's good. Though the peanut bead might sit well with that thing. I could do the peanut bead and then the red bead. Let's see what that would look like. I just want to see how the peanut bead will sit with these pointed ones. So let's put these peanut ones on, just like this. Just see how they sit with those. Not really any different than the red one, I don't think. But it looks cute, so we'll leave it. Now let's put the red one on. So I'm doing a red bead each side. Yeah, it's looking super cute. I'm thinking that I may not bead all the way up. I may bead part of the way up and then do chain, because I think chain would be really cute with this too. So let's go ahead and do bead caps on a gold bead here. Whoops. A bead cap, a gold bead, and a bead cap. Yeah, I think chain would be would be pretty cool on this. And we'll do another one. Bead cap. Excuse me. Gold bead. Bead cap. My allergies have been really acting up. I'm allergic to our cap. Let's do another clear bead. Do we want to do another clear bead yet? Let's do another marbled bead without the, yeah, let's do that. Let's do this marbled bead without the bead caps. And then I'm going to pull in these smaller marbled beads with the bead caps. So I'm going to do bead cap, this guy, and the bead cap, and then the clear bead, I think. Okay, so just like that. Yeah, I like that. It's turning out cute. Okay, so what were we doing? Bead cap, marbled bead, bead cap, and a clear bead. Okay, that's looking pretty. All right, let's do red. And again, you guys do them however you want. This is how I think it looks good, so this is how I'm going to do it. But there's all kinds of ways you could, any old way you want. So we've got a couple clear left. I think I will do a gold and then a peanut. Okay, like this. A gold and a peanut. Looking good. So I'm just looking at what I have left. I have these two clear ones that are those diamond looking things. I don't think I want to use those. So probably I kind of like to get those in there, and I have a peanut there, so let's do this one. They're similar in size. I think they're close enough that you're not going to be able to tell that they're not exactly the same size. I mean, one's just barely smaller than the other one. So I think spread across here, they'll be okay. So I'm going to do that and one more peanut on each side. Well, maybe not. I don't like the next peanut. Let's see. So let's do those two, and then I think we need another big one now. Let's do, these bead caps don't totally fit these gigantic marble beads, but they're okay, I guess. So bead cap, marbled bead, bead cap. Yeah, that's all right. And then bead cap, marbled bead, and another bead cap. So that's looking pretty good, actually. I like it. And I usually like, so I have to decide how long I want this to be. And I usually like necklaces like this to be about 21 inches or so, something like that. So let's measure. So I've got right here to here is 9 inches. So 9 and 9's 18, 19. So I need about, I don't know, 2 inches of chain on either side. Or 3 inches of chain. I might make it a little longer. I may remove a few beads. I think, let's see. I think I'm gonna take these off and just end in this clear one, because I do want the chain to show. Okay, and then I'm gonna do about 4 inches of chain. So about 4 inches of chain per side. I don't know if these open. They do. Okay. So I'm just going to open the link. So in the middle of these two links, I'm just going to open it right up. And you can use any kind of chain that you have, obviously. So I'm going to do about 4 inches over here. What have I got going on? I have that. Okay. So I need to end it on the after 3 of those. Yeah, that should work perfect right about here. And it's the same on both. I'm just trying to make it the same on both sides so I don't have like a, because this is a Figaro mother and son style chain. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so now I am going to crimp directly onto this chain. I am going to pull out a couple of wire guards. And you don't have to use wire guards, but I like to if I can. So there's one. And there's one. So 2 little wire guards. These are 5mm wire guards. All they do is keep your wire from fraying against the chain. Now I could always add more chain if I wanted to, like if I decide that this isn't long enough. So I'm going to take my, well, first I've got to put my crimp bead on. Okay, so I'm going to put my crimp tube on here. And then I'm going to take my wire guard and I'm going to go up through the one side, over the top, and down. I know it's hard to see what I'm doing, but it's kind of hard to to do that, and down through the other side. So here's what I have. Okay, and then I'm going to take the chain and I'm going to put it right up here on the wire guard, just like this. And then I'm going back through the crimp tube. I don't need quite that much. Let's scoot that down a little. Back through the crimp tube here. Now I like to take my pliers and close this wire guard up a little, so it sits more like that. I just think it looks better. Okay, and I'm going to crimp. So I'm going to make sure that my wires aren't crossed. Grab my crimpers. I'm sorry for the reach. And then I'm going to put my crimp tube in the bottom divot of my crimping pliers. I'm going to pull everything tight, make sure nothing's loose, my wire guard's not, you know, got loose wire up in there or anything, and crimp down tightly. And I'm turning this 90 degrees, and I'm going to close it up right there. And there is what you've got. Okay, now I'm going to scoot this all down. I'm taking the tail and putting it underneath these beads right here through the holes in them. I'm not going to cut it off. I'm going to string it through the beads if I can. That way, if anything would ever happen and my necklace would break, I would have a little bit of extra wire and I could probably just restring it instead of, or fix it instead of having to restring the whole thing. Okay. And we're going to scoot this down. Now, you want to make sure that this doesn't have any loose spots in it, but you don't want it to be stick straight, poker straight. You want it to kind of hang pretty, you know, and not be poker straight. So I just kind of let gravity do the work. I pull it up like this and just let gravity do the work. I'm going to crimp the other side, so put my crimp bead on. Put the wire guardian on. And go up and over this. And then I'm just going to make sure my chain matches up. I'm using the same link on this side that I used on the other side. And then I'm just going to scoot that right up on there. Okay. Close this wire guard a little bit. And then I'm going to take this and go back down through the crimp bead and a few of the beads. Let's get through here. I don't like to come out between a bead cap and a bead. If I can help it, I just feel like that makes it lay kind of funny, so let's get down through these if we can. And I'd kind of like to go down through this bead too, this triangle bead, just to make sure that it has a little more wire in there, so it would maybe lay stiffer. So I think that's good. I'm going to pull everything tight, but again, you want to make sure there's a little movement in there. So see, you know, just pull it tight, but don't make it poker straight. Okay. That looks pretty good. So I want to make sure they're even on both sides. Okay. That looks pretty decent. Okay, and now I'm going to crimp this down. I'm going to pull that just a little bit up. There we go. Okay, laying this in the back divot, crimping down, rotating it, and closing it right up. And there we have it. Okay, I'm going to trim this off in between those two if I can. And there's what we've got. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hold this up and see how long it is. And I did cut my chain just a tad too short. I'm going to add, I don't need to add much, but I'm going to take this and just add a couple, maybe just about an inch more. I'm bad about doing that, measuring it, and then having to add or take, you know, it's better if you don't have to try to take away, but I'm bad about having to add more. I have a hard time with measurements for some reason. But let's go ahead and just add a little bit more chain on, and then I'm just going to put my clasp on. So I'm going to add this right onto here. Okay, yeah, that looks better. It looked a little too short on the other side. And then, what do I have here? I've got these three, this guy, and then 3 more. So we'll take these and add to the other side. The same thing. I do think I did not do that right. Hold on and I will check. I think I need 3 more at the top of this one. Yeah. What did I do? Okay, yeah, I just left off the 3. So we'll add them on. Not a big deal. And then I'm just going to put my clasp on and we're done. This is a cute little necklace. It turned out better than I thought it would. I was a little worried about that big pendant, but I think when you add the dangles in there, it helps it. I know, I've got that extra piece on the end. I'm going to get it off. Everybody's probably screeching at me going, you've got the other one on there, and I know I do, but I'm having trouble with my plier. Okay, so let's take this guy off, and then we're just going to put the clasp on. Okay. And I am going to hook the clasp on with a jump ring, just because it's going to be easier than trying to open those back up again. So I've got my little lobster claw here, and I really wouldn't even have to do this other ring on the side, but I'm going to just because. So I'm going to put my lobster on here, add him on. And then this one I'm just going to open up and stick on here. This jump ring, this big 12mm. I love these big 12mm jump rings for this. They're great for the lobster to clasp onto. And here we have it. Cute, cute, cute little Valentine's Day necklace. Doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. Could be any time, but it did turn out really pretty. So let me put it on a form and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are in the light box, and here it is, and I really, really like it. I think it turned out super cute. I love this, the way this hangs. You could kind of scoot it up that way and make it hang a little more, but I really like that. And the colors I think are really pretty. These aren't colors that I wear a lot, but I think with white or even with black, they would be really pretty. So I think it'll work. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to subscribe to Curated Bead Box, I have a coupon code. It's Wendy35. Will give you 35% off your first month's box. There has been an issue lately. I will just be upfront about it, with people not getting the same beads as what I get, or them running out of strands and not having replacements, the same replacement. You know, they have to use something different. And I've had some people complain about that, so just know that up front. Hopefully you would get everything that I'm getting, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And they do send replacement strand, but it may not be the same, you know, it's not going to be the same thing. So if that's a problem for you, just wanted to be upfront about that. Keep that in mind. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.